Going out on your own is scary. There are a lot of unknowns and uncontrollables. But isn't that just the way life is? No matter how much you plan, things never seem to work out exactly as you thought they would. At least that's been my experience. I just quit my job and I'm giving myself 6 months to dedicate full-time hours to bring my art business to a place where it can be sustainable and provide me a full-time income. I started my business in 2020 and I had just been laid off at the end of 2019, and I knew I wanted to pursue something creative. Finding a new job in 2020 was not happening, and so I really felt I owed it to myself to try to pursue one of my creative passions. I don't know about you, but as a creative person, I have a lot of creative hobbies and creative interests, but at this point, my creative interests started with crocheting. So I started crocheting at first little bows, which were not as popular back then as bows seem to be now. But I crocheted these little hair bows, and then right before fall, I was, of course, was on a budget, not having a job, and so I wanted to create some little fall decor, and so I made little crocheted pumpkins. People loved them, so I decided to sell them, and I sold a lot of them. But I quickly realized this wasn't sustainable. My hands were sore, and also, as long as it took me to create one pumpkin, it wasn't catapulting my business to anywhere it needed to be to provide me any sort of income sustainably. So, and also this was very seasonal, obviously. So by the spring of the following year, I had begun painting, and this is where an actual passion started taking root. I loved it, and I really wanted to see if I could make this into my career. By the beginning of 2022, I had decided to really take it seriously, and I painted my first collection. And I guess from there, the rest is history. So that brings us to now, and here's how I'm visualizing it. I am a lover of books, and if you know anything about writing, you know that books sort of are told in a beginning, middle, end plot diagram. Beginning with the exposition, like building the setting and character and the foundation of the story. Then comes the conflict, and or the inciting incident that begins the rising action. For me, I feel like I am in an epic rising action. The inciting incident? Quitting my job, motivated by a strong will to make my art succeed. As the author, I made the choice to raise the stakes for my character, which is me, to give myself a crazy deadline of 6 months. This makes for an intense and enthralling story, one that I plan to share over the next 6 months and beyond if I'm successful, as I climb the proverbial rising action and reach the climactic point of my story where I become a sustainable full-time artist. If you're watching this video because you want to pursue an art career, my advice to you is to create. Create as much art as possibly can. Refine your skills, find your voice, find what makes your heart sing when it comes to art, and let's take our careers to the next level together. If you're watching this video as a lover of the arts, my heart goes out to you with real gratitude and love. I'm so honored that you're spending a little of your time with me, and I am so happy I get to share this journey with you. Getting into the goals and the nitty-gritty of how I actually plan to make this happen in the next 6 months. My goals to make that happen include increasing my revenue streams. Right now, I, of course, have my online shop, and I also have a presence on a wholesale website, as well as I do a few markets a year. I'm planning to increase the number of markets that I do. I already have one. Actually, I already have 3 planned for this spring and early summer, and one is actually this coming weekend, so that's exciting. But I plan to add more markets, one, to increase profitability, but also to increase my visibility within the community. Other revenue streams I want to pursue include licensing, YouTube, Patreon, and I've thought a little bit about galleries as well. My second goal, and probably the more important one, is to create more art. This has been my goal from the beginning of the year, but it's kind of broad, so I'm thinking that I need to quantify it, so maybe 1 or 2 completed pieces of art per week, or maybe working in my sketchbook doing some watercolor every morning or something like that. I guess I need to think that through a little bit, and perhaps next month I will have an update on what that goal quantifies as and how it's going. So to recap the goals that I have that I want to check in with next month: quantify the number of art pieces I want to create each week, post weekly on YouTube, post on Instagram 4 times per week, and create at least 1 new listing on my website each week, update my wholesale website, and update my wholesale catalog and also my portfolio, which I think will be 2 separate documents, but I want to make them kind of more intent specific. And that's like more for outreach, whereas like my wholesale website is just for like people, not me reaching out to people, but people finding me through that wholesale website. So those three things are similar but different and will each take their own amount of work. So hopefully I'll be able to complete that within the month of March, but that seems kind of like a lot. So we'll see how I do on that goal. I plan to do a check-in each month to see how I'm doing with my goals, and then kind of to reevaluate and set new goals for that month to sort of keep myself accountable and also kind of like as little benchmarks throughout the next 6 months. So I'm really excited and I'm really eager to see how everything's going by the end of the spring. Of course, by the end of just March, I don't expect a big, crazy amount of progress, but I feel like March, April, May, that'll kind of be like the halfway point, the end of spring, beginning of summer. So that'll be really exciting to see sort of where the progress is at that point. So thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video and want to see how I do on this crazy journey, please like and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.